The reason you're broke is simple. You still think you need your own money to get rich. That's the biggest myth that keeps average people average. The rich know the truth. They build empires with other people's money. OPM, kids, is the most powerful weapon you'll ever hold, but most of you are too scared to use it. You've been brainwashed to believe debt is evil, that risk is dangerous, that you should only move when everything is safe and secure. That's why you're stuck. Meanwhile, the killers of the world, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Trump, Branson, they leveraged other people's money to the hilt. They didn't wait to have enough saved up. They didn't wait for the perfect bank balance. They pulled the trigger, used OPM, and multiplied it into billions. That's why their names live forever and yours doesn't. Money is everywhere. It's drowning in the system. Banks are sitting on it. Investors are begging for returns. Pension funds are desperate to grow. Private equity is hunting for deals. And yet you think you don't have enough money to start. That's pathetic. You don't need money. You need courage. The money is out there. The question is, are you bold enough to grab it? The poor never will be. They're too scared of rejection, too afraid of failure, too worried about what happens if someone says no. The rich, they'll ask 100 people for money, and if 99 say no, they'll take the one yes and build an empire. That's how the game works. You're sitting there thinking you'll save your way to wealth. Let me tell you, you'll never save your way to millions. Inflation eats your savings alive. Taxes crush them. Emergencies destroy them. Savings are defensive. OPM is offensive. And in this game, offense wins. The rich move fast, leverage money that isn't theirs, and scale. You hoard pennies, terrified to take a swing. That's why you'll die broke. Every major fortune in history was built on OPM. Carnegie borrowed, expanded, and dominated steel. Rockefeller leveraged, merged, and ruled oil. Henry Ford built his empire on credit and reinvestment. Steve Jobs didn't fund Apple with his piggy bank. He got investors to believe in the vision. Bezos didn't bootstrap Amazon into a $1 trillion company. He raised, borrowed, and reinvested. The poor like to point fingers and cry foul, but the truth is staring you in the face. Other people's money is the fuel of wealth. If you're not using it, you're not even in the game. But here's where you choke: fear. You think debt will kill you. You think borrowing is dangerous. Let me tell you what's dangerous: staying broke your whole life. What's dangerous is wasting decades working for someone else because you were too scared to use OPM. What's dangerous is watching the rich lap you 10 times over while you play it safe. The truth is, debt doesn't kill you. Ignorance does. Fear does. Procrastination does. OPM, when used with skill and urgency, is the greatest weapon you'll ever hold. The bankers don't care about you, the investors don't care about you, but they care about one thing: returns. If you can show them how their money will multiply, they'll hand it over. And if you don't know how to pitch, how to sell, how to create value, then learn. That's the difference between rich and poor. The poor wait until they think they're ready. The rich learn while they play. They step into the arena bloody and bruised and figure it out. That's how they win. So stop crying that you don't have enough money. Stop telling yourself you need to save for 10 more years before you start. Stop hiding behind excuses. The money is out there. Other people's money is your weapon. Use it or stay poor forever. You've been lied to since you were a kid. They told you debt was dangerous. They told you borrowing was reckless. They told you to live within your means, save a little, retire at 65, and hope you don't run out of money before you run out of breath. That's loser advice. That's middle-class poison. The rich never played by those rules. They knew from the start that wealth wasn't built by being cautious. It was built by using other people's money as leverage. And leverage is everything. With leverage, $1 becomes 10. With leverage, one idea becomes a corporation. With leverage, one deal becomes a dynasty. Without it, you're just another rat in the race, running in circles and wondering why nothing changes. Look at real estate tycoons. Do you think they bought skyscrapers with their own savings? Impossible. They raised capital, borrowed, structured deals, and used OPM to scale. Donald Trump didn't build towers by clipping coupons. He used debt as a weapon. Richard Branson didn't expand Virgin across the globe by saving pocket change. He used investors' money, banks' money, and partners' money to move faster than his competitors. Even Elon Musk, the guy people worship as a genius, didn't fuel Tesla and SpaceX with his personal bank account. He raised billions. He used OPM, and now he's shaping industries while you're still asking yourself if you can afford a new laptop. The poor waste years trying to play it safe. They tell themselves they'll only start when they have enough saved. But the truth is, you'll never feel like you have enough. Inflation eats your savings. Emergencies drain them. Life always throws curveballs. By the time you think you're ready, the opportunity is gone. The rich don't wait for ready. They raise, they borrow, they partner, they leverage, and they move. That's why they seize opportunities while you waste years hesitating. And don't kid yourself. The system is built for the bold. Banks aren't in business to hand out charity. They're in business to make money off their money. Investors don't care about your feelings. They care about returns. The moment you prove you can multiply capital, the world throws money at you. But if you sit on the sidelines whining about not having enough, no one will even notice you exist. You've got to step into the arena, take the hits, learn the language of capital, and prove you can deliver. That's how OPM becomes your weapon. Do you know why the poor stay poor? They're terrified of rejection. They'd rather stay broke than risk hearing no. The rich don't care how many no's they hear because they only need one yes. They'll pitch 100 people, knock on 100 doors, call 100 investors, 99 slam the door, and they don't care. Because the one who says yes gives them the fuel they need to build the next empire. That's the mindset, that's the game. And most of you don't have the guts to play it. Let me tell you something. OPM isn't just about money, it's about psychology. When you use other people's money, you're forced to perform. You've got accountability, you've got pressure, you've got skin in the game that isn't yours, and that pressure turns boys into men, dreamers into doers, and talkers into builders. The poor never experience that. They're trapped in their little comfort zones, protecting their tiny savings, never risking, never leveraging, never growing. That's why their lives look the same year after year. Here's the reality. You'll never scale with just your own resources. Never. The world's biggest fortunes were built because someone had the courage to use OPM as a weapon. And that weapon, once mastered, is unstoppable. You can either stay poor, clinging to your piggy bank like a coward, or you can step into the big leagues, pick up the weapon of OPM, and start fighting for something bigger. The choice is yours. Most of you will die broke because you never understood this one truth. It's not about having money, it's about controlling money. And the fastest way to control it is by using other people's money. You've been taught to fear debt, to live small, to save for decades. But that's the conditioning of mediocrity. The rich broke out of that cage a long time ago. They know the world runs on leverage, and leverage is only possible when you step up and use resources that aren't yours. That's why the rich move mountains while you can't even move the needle. Think about it. If you wait until you've saved enough to start, you're already too late. Opportunities move faster than your savings account ever will. Inflation outruns your patience. By the time you feel safe, the deal is gone, the market has shifted, the door is closed. The rich don't wait. They strike when the iron is hot, and they use OPM to make it possible. That's how they buy when everyone else is hesitating. That's how they expand when everyone else is shrinking. That's how they win while the rest of the world wonders what happened. And here's the part that separates the killers from the cowards: responsibility. When you take other people's money, you're forced to deliver. There's no room for laziness, no time for excuses. That pressure sharpens you, pushes you, forces you to rise. The poor avoid it, so they never grow. The rich embrace it, and it makes them unstoppable. You think OPM is risky? Let me tell you what's risky. Living your entire life playing it safe, never building, never scaling, never achieving, and dying with nothing but regret. That's the real risk. Carnegie knew it. Rockefeller knew it. Jobs knew it. Bezos knows it. Musk knows it. Every single one of them weaponized OPM to build what they built. They understood the simple law. It's not about what you have in your pocket. It's about what you can control in the marketplace. And OPM gives you control. It's the sword in the battle of wealth. And the only reason you're still broke is because you're too afraid to pick it up. So here's the choice. You can keep believing the lie that you'll save your way to success, or you can wake up to the truth that the rich already know. Other people's money is your weapon. You can stay small, or you can scale. You can keep making excuses, or you can start making moves. You can stay poor, or you can get rich. The weapon is right in front of you. Pick it up, use it, and never look back.